how can you continue to practice this empathy? I mean, all the things you're saying are so important, even when it comes, for example, with the listening, like podcasting. I think to like one thing I learned so much kind of came a little bit natural, but I actually had to learn it by reflection is, listening. When you're on a podcast, not listening to talk, no, but truly listening and being present in the moment, like you said, really with your body, that puts you in the present. So, like, I could really relate with what you're saying. But one thing I found is a weakness is yes, I can have empathy in the workplace, but when it comes to family, it can be a bit harder. And I don't know why. Shouldn't it be the same? So how does one now like, and I know you can apply the similar things, but because when it comes to your family, for example, me, I'm so loving and I just, I'm very passionate in that aspect for the people I love. But sometimes you see certain things and it's like you get frustrated because it's like, well, I want them to be better. I want them to be able to grow and be in this space. But maybe some people don't want to change or stuck in their same ways. And, that can sometimes affect me, even though it shouldn't. I'm always focused. But yeah, how does one, when a CEO who has so many things on the line and, your most vulnerable state is in usually within your family or the people closest to you, so.
Yeah.
Mhm.
Look, I think the secret kind of, I don't know, thinking around this is that empathy is not about judgment and it's not about agreement. So it's a really kind of key thing to consider. When you are understanding the perspective of others, you don't have to like it and you don't have to agree with it. And it's okay to tell them that as well. So, I could say to someone in my family, I really disagree with what you're doing. I understand why you're doing it, but I don't agree. That's still empathy. I understand. Do I understand why they're behaving that way, why they're making those choices? Yeah, I understand. I don't think it's the right thing to do, but I understand why you're doing it, right? So, probably one of the hardest questions I've ever been asked, Sugira. I was working with the Metropolitan Police Service in London with the counterterrorism unit. And I should have planned for this question, but I didn't. And in the Q&A, they asked me, Mimi, can I empathize with a terrorist who has just blown up London Bridge? And I was like, whoa, right, big question. But of course, the answer is yes. Do you like it? No. Do you agree? Most definitely not. But can you understand how that person got to that point from where they were born, how they were educated, the messaging they've been told, the life they've led to that moment? Yes, you can empathize. And I think in our families, it's about that consciousness, right? And understanding that what they want or how they see success is not necessarily through your lens.
So you're wondering the value in being a podcast guest. Think about it. You want to build your personal brand. Is it important as ever? And coming on this show allows you to do just that. You're able to leverage our audience, but not only that, you're able to leverage the content from this podcast as you clock up the hours someone spends with you. The longer time someone spends listening to your story, your solutions in the marketplace allows you to do something special. It allows you to build a community and build a brand. You can leverage the community here, but you can also leverage the content from this show to be able to use where? On LinkedIn. LinkedIn is where you're going to shine. LinkedIn is where you're going to generate leads. So whoever you are, you want to come and tell your story. You want to be able to come in and be a guest that allows you to build your brand. Link in the description, we'll get in touch. So join our waiting list to feature on the Rubasha Family Podcast.
Often we say, I don't know why you're not listening to me. And the other person is like, well, why don't you start by listening to me? So listening is a two-way street. And I think that judgment has this really heavy load. Judgment makes you feel like a bad person, right? But we all judge every day. It's how we stay safe, right? I judge whether I can cross the road or I'm going to get hit, how fast the car's coming. I judge whether if I eat this, it's going to make me sick, or if I drink another glass of wine, it's going to make me dizzy, right? We judge to survive. So judgment in itself is not a bad thing. To say to someone, you're passing judgment doesn't make you bad. It just means you have to learn when to suspend it and understand what that means for somebody else. And you're right, because we love our families and we want the best for them, we often have this intention to help by fixing. But what I've learned in my work is that acknowledgement is often far more powerful than action. Don't try to fix it for them, just hear them. Listen to them, let them feel heard. That is often far more powerful, especially with children, by the way, or young people. And with teenagers and young people, if you try and do it for them, they're most definitely going to go the other way. So Acknowledgement over action. And often what happens, you'll find, is people will say, oh, Sugira, thank you so much. And you think, I didn't do anything, right? And then they go away feeling that they can make better decisions, feeling like a load has been lifted, feeling like you're really supportive brother, brother-in-law, father, whoever you are, right? Actually, all you did was listen. And that is why the coaching, life coaching industry is growing so fast. We are so desperate to be heard today. We pay people to listen to us. So that would be my advice, Sugira. It's just to really focus on that judgment and agreement lens, removing it, and just hearing what they have to say and not feeling the need to fix it, but just to listen.
And
That help?
yeah, no, definitely. And because ultimately I noticed as well, like, you can get into the habit of judging people, but I always had to keep reminding myself, like, you're only judging yourself.
If you really enjoyed this video, make sure to click here, and I'm sure you're gonna love that one.